Assalamu alaikum, everyone. It is I, Arif Khan, finally back again. I don't know how long it's been, but it feels like forever. So happy to be back here. Thank you to the gents who took over while I was gone for a bit. So we got a good one here for you folks. We're going to be reviewing week 10, and I'm going to bring in my partners in crime, Mr. Bakshi right here. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. What's going on?
We got Imad, and we got Omar Asawi. So we got the full crew here today. Nice, I like it. So guys, thanks for coming on. I know the last few weeks we've only had like a couple of guys on, so it's great to have a full panel. I think it'll be fun. Let's see who's on the chat. Yes, of course, Mr. Rexdale Royalty's there. Assalamu alaikum, Imran. We got Riz. Before I get started, I wanted to throw up a quick video here I have. So here, let me try to find this guy. All right, assalamu alaikum. We got Mr. Hamdani here from Ikhlas. Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Salam.
So how you liking Iceland so far?
You know what, I'm enjoying it a lot. It's different than what I'm accustomed to, but I'm really enjoying the camaraderie and the brotherhood here in this league.
Nice, like you're ripping it up here.
I'm doing my best still, trying to get my footing and get back into the swing of things. So it's nice being, to come out here to play.
So we got to get you on the podcast and have a longer session with you. So you down this week?
Yeah, inshallah. You just send me right. You got my number, just let me know.
Perfect. You heard it here. All right, bro. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you so much. So
there you go. We have Mr. Hamdani who wanted to come on. Brother, your wish is my command. So here we go.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers. Alaikum salam. How's everybody?
Good, man. Welcome.
Nice to have you on, man.
You. I appreciate you guys bringing me on. Look forward to this. Been watching all the weeks, apart from the few that didn't happen, but here we are.
Nice. And you've been great that you've been wanting to come on for a while. We just couldn't get it coordinate things, but I'm really glad that you were able to make some time for us today.
Yeah, of course, anytime. I'm here to help. Here to promote the game.
Legend. You already have a legend chance in the chat for your man.
So for those who don't know, Munawar, he plays on Ikhlas Green. He's one of the GMs, but he's also known to play at the highest level, ball hockey wise. So we're really fortunate to have someone of his caliber in our league. So yeah, welcome.
Thank you for the kind words. Thank you.
All right, so let's get started. We got lots to cover. We have to cover last week's games. We have to cover all the trades that happened, and then maybe if we have some time, we'll look at some previews here. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So the first game of the evening was Sabr versus Haya, and this ended in a 2-2. So both Imad, myself, and Baksh, we were on it. Imad, why don't I throw this one to you first?
Wow, it's a tie game, but it felt like a loss for Sabr, that's for sure. We for the first time in I don't know how long, we didn't fall down 2-0 early on in the first 5 minutes. So we felt really good about that. We had a 1-0 lead and then a 2-1 lead. And what was it, in the last minute and a half, we let in the tying goal. Bad line changes on a penalty kill and all that kind of stuff, and just unfortunate play. Okay, so, at least it was positive in the sense that we got away with a point, and the team seemed to be gelling a little bit more. And I know it was game 9 for us. So if you're not gelling by then, it's a problem. But we felt good out there. So inshallah, this week it'll be a little bit better. But Haya played well too. They stuck with it. They didn't give up, and they came out with a point. So they got to be happy with that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Baksh, what did you think? Are you lying down again?
No, kind of like half squatting.
What is this?
This guy. I just scolded you for this last week.
I'm stretching.
All right.
Okay.
You're stretching. What kind of stretch is that?
It's a half squat. All right, leave me alone. I'm tired.
We have a guest here, and this is.
He's working on his bowel movements.
We're trying to work on his manners, but he's
I've seen this guy in a 3-piece suit before games, and he's now in looks like a thrown together T-shirt or something. So
we're
at least he's wearing a shirt.
We're man of all classes. We're man of all classes.
Has he tried to sell you anything yet?
No, not yet.
Try to tell him come back.
You know what? Bucks did ring one right off the post in this game.
He did. He did.
So he was very close to getting what might be his first goal in 10 years or something like that. So
I've had like 4.
No, but it was a good shot, and actually, Bucks had a pretty good game too. Like the hustle was there. He was getting in the lanes, and Bucks, like, big props, man. Like you had a good game, my friend.
I appreciate it, man. But like I tell everyone else, they don't count posts and stats, so it doesn't really help. So it's having like 3-4 posts in the season means,
Hey, listen,
we're there. That's all.
It's the era of a participation ribbon, so
I don't like that era. I think just speaking of the game, it just it was interesting that I felt like we should have gotten this away. We were playing well, all lines were contributing, and I think we had Haya, but just like a lot of games, we find a way to allow them to get in the game, and that was with a penalty on the high stick. Call it a bad play, call it a bad call.
That was a freak penalty, though. I mean, I don't know if you guys should beat yourself. Like, I know I beat you guys up badly last week in the podcast, but I don't think you guys should beat yourself up over this game in particular. Like for those people who didn't get to see the game, what happened was Farouk Sani was on his way off the floor for a line change, and for some reason he was running with his stick in the air. And as he was running to the bench with his stick in the air, he wasn't even looking at the play. Somebody decided to clear it, and it hit his stick in the air as he was making his way off, and they got a high sticking penalty, which resulted
he was actually trying to get out of the way, and he kind of lobbed it, and it hit.
They did a twirl, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was unlucky.
We twirled all the way to the penalty box, so it doesn't matter. We let that one go, and it's okay.
But it cost us. It cost us the game. They not the game, but it cost us the lead because they got
very important 2 points.
Yeah. Look, what I will say is that you guys look far more organized. I mean, I'm not gonna analyze your personnel decisions and stuff like that. I did feel like at the end there was a little bit of confusion about who's supposed to be on and who's not supposed to be on, especially when you guys are trying to maybe get secure the extra point. So I think I don't know, just as a third party, maybe some communication in terms of who's supposed to be on the power play, who's supposed to be on the penalty kill. Like you have guys, I think, with the expectation, they're all jumping on and saying, okay, well, this is the expectations I'm on in the situation, and then they're being sent off, and then it doesn't look like they're too happy about that.
Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to move us along a little bit here. Lots to cover. The stars of the game was Akib, Maz, who got a really nice breakaway goal, and Ahmed Khalid, who, since joining Sabur, he's scored 2 goals and has just been a catalyst in terms of his energy. So
excellent
game. Yeah. All right, game number 2 is Yakin versus Taqwa. I'm actually going to go to Munawar here for a second. Say, Munawar, you've played against Yakin. You've played against these guys. They're so talented, that GM trio.
Oh,
how would you guys stop them?
Well, we didn't. They pretty much mopped the floor with us when we went head to head with them. They gave us a pretty good, humbling lesson, I would say. We had talked about it as a team, as a group. We were looking forward to playing them, and this is the game we needed to, show like what everyone's kind of been talking about our team. Good offense, defense is good, our goalie's there, and they just pretty much did whatever they wanted with us. Like I couldn't say one nice thing about our team from that game, to be honest. But Yakin, like they're that top 3 GM trio there. Those T Park guys, they're no joke. I played against them in Salam Cup. What's that?
Right. So I was gonna say, how do you stop? Like, forget Iceland for a second, but when you have a trio that does so many give and goes and quick movement, ball movement, how does one stop such a style of play?
I would say the easiest route is just to be a little bit more physical against them. Obviously, you don't want to be too physical where you're taking penalties and you're giving them power play opportunity, because you don't want to do that. They'll bury you every time. I would say be a little bit more physical with them, and don't give them too much space to kind of operate, because they like to do that tic-tac-toe give and go east-west game. So they are stoppable. Like we have a game plan for them. Hopefully next time we see them. And
You got more than a game plan now, but we'll talk about that more.
Inshallah, we will see them again. But they're a very talented group.
Extremely.
Team Yakin. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Omar, what did you think of Taqwa's play? I mean, they got 3 goals on them, which is pretty impressive to get 3 goals in the game.
Look, the game was way closer than the score would dictate. And just keep this in mind, right? Let's process this for a second. There was no Hamza Chaudhry, there was no Mohamed Yusuf Chaudhry, and there was no Zaid Khaler, right? So they were missing 3 of their top guys on paper, at least. And they still looked like the game looked very close. Like usually when you're missing your top guys, like sometimes you'll come in and you slouch your shoulders and you say, hey, you know what, guys, I'm out here for fun, and I'm just out here for a run and whatever it is. But like, didn't look like that, right? And big props to Amr Multani, right? Like he looked like he was a man on a mission. I think he missed the week before, so he was itching to get out there, and he ended up scoring some goals. It doesn't look like it helped him in terms of his position on the team, but
maybe it did
foreshadow.
I don't know, maybe it did. But I mean, he's been quietly very good this season. And like he hasn't been getting a lot of recognition, but he's been putting the ball in the net. He's been hustling hard, so he's definitely not lost his sniper touch. So big props to Taqwa, but they are going to have to get some points on the board, otherwise they're going to fall out of a playoff spot, and it's really tight right now.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's move on to the next one. The next one was Iman versus Rida. And I know, Baksh, you had some comments in one of the videos. For those who haven't seen the hood trick, in it, Baksh was asked, who's going to win? And he said, there's no way like Iman can win. They have no chance, basically.
Prove me wrong.
What happened?
He did. Prove me wrong, and he did. Every time I call someone out on a podcast, in real life, they always do better the next game. I called him out. He said he was going to do 3. He did 4. The 4. Ric Flair, 4 horsemen style. He gave you 4. It was really, really good. It was honestly, obviously it was the best game he's played all season from production wise, but also I was seeing he's positioning very well there, and he's kind of getting into the dirty spots, and he's playing hockey the right way. So it's not those goals were like little cheap goals. I know Sally probably doesn't like that he's getting a lot of praise right now, but he did really, really well, and kudos.
I know Omar's chomping at the bit to say something about it.
Shame on the defense. Shame on the defense.
No, you know what? Not at all. I mean, I give him a hard time because he's my student, and he's honestly one of my favorite students. Him and Zia, they were classmates. But Hood, mashallah, he's grown into a very, very good player. I know when he came in, he was quite raw. I think he was playing in another league as well, and there was some criticisms about his game that he's addressed. Right? So I even have my purple lights on here in honor of Hood, and so we all have these kids that used to play in the league and now they're young men, and they're quite good, like Hamza Chaudhry being one of them, Hamza Ali being another one of them. Like they come in, they play against men, they're able to develop their skills. When they put on some weight and some muscle, they're able to be dominant. So I definitely see Hood in that light as well. So he's just going to get better, right? And so inshallah, we're looking forward to Hood becoming one of the best Muslim ball hockey players in our community.
Yeah,
and so kudos. Sure. I mean, Salam Cup is coming up, guys. I would definitely encourage one of these teams to definitely try to pluck him from whatever team he may have given a verbal commitment to. But we're looking at the future of Muslim ball hockey. So congratulations, Hood. Well deserved. I will say that I was only on for 1 goal. And it was my fault. I will take responsibility for that 1 goal. But congratulations to Hood. He was.
So I'm going to Munawar here for a second. Hood, obviously, he scored 4 goals. He's a young kid. I think he's like 17 or whatnot, and it's already his 2nd or 3rd season, and he's actually in the chat, so he's there. So as a veteran, what would you say to him to give him some advice to him and others?
Well, from what I've seen him play. Like obviously, I played against him. I watched the interview that was on IG there, and he's already showing so much confidence in himself and how he talks and presents himself to everyday people, and that just carries on to the floor, like putting on shoes, walking left and right. I think if I had to give him any advice, is just keep getting better. Don't take days off. put in that work, put in that effort, and like how everyone is saying, the future of all these young Muslim players coming up into this league or Salam Cup or whatever league it may be. It doesn't even have to be a Muslim league. Playing tier 1, tier 2, so on and so forth. The sky's the limit. As long as they put the work in and believe in themselves, there's nothing that can stop anybody, to be totally honest.
Well said. Well said. You hear that, Baksh?
What do you mean? Sky's the limit for the young guys like me?
Yeah, man.
Imad, I'm going to go to you for
now I think we're
reaction.
Like the same age.
Imad, some reaction about Rida's play, because they lost 5-2. However, they did some massive trades just before this, so they were not supposed to be this far down. What happened?
Yeah, it was a surprise. I think they were caught off guard too, maybe thinking that this, they're going up against the last place team, and Iman was the last place team at that point, and this is going to be a cakewalk with all their firepower. But you know what? They made it work, and to that end, I mean, all the guys who Iman traded for didn't even show up that night. So was it Mohsen Makrod, and then trying to think who else was the other guy?
Adam Patel.
Adam Patel. Yeah, neither of them. So 2 of the 3 guys they traded for didn't even show up. They weren't available, and they still came out with such a dominant performance.
Addition by subtraction.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but it's just maybe the chemistry just didn't work out as well, and they need a little bit more time on Rida to sort that out. Isawi, I mean, you were on the team. What happened?
Well, I'm not on the team anymore, so I can be brutally honest. Look, I'll be full credit to Iman. Okay, they came out and they overwhelmed us with their speed, which is what they've done to other teams, but they haven't been able to convert. And this is the criticism that we've been launching at them all season, is that they're really good, but their feet work faster than their brains when it comes to the ball. And in this game, they made no mistake. In this game, as a defenseman, I was pressured so hard. As soon as I touched the ball, I had to make a decision. Right. And there's a couple of times where I made a mistake, right? Like as soon as I felt the pressure on me, I hugged the boards and it was a turnover, or I sent it up the boards and there was no winger there. So I definitely think that they utilize their speed and their aggressiveness. Like for guys that are smaller than you, you don't expect them to really dig their heels in and throw their weight around, which, and not just that, but I'm a pretty physical defenseman myself. And they took everything that I had to throw at them. So full marks to Iman. And definitely Hood was a big part of their offense. He was in the right spot at the right time. And they got the goals, right? So I would say that I think that the new additions, so specifically like Abdul Nafi and Asim, is definitely going to take them some time to get used to what they need to do. Like the Rida GMs in particular, I know this as a defenseman. You have to play to their style. You can't play the way that you want to play. You have to play the way that they want you to play. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself out of position. And then when you're out of position, the whole team is out of position.
Yeah.
Right. I would say that Abu is probably one of the best centers in the league. And there was multiple times where Abu and winger were playing defense, and our defensemen were behind the net. Right. Which it'll never work like that. Right. So
They had Bilal Muddin, who's so fast and so tenacious, right?
So fast,
all over. And actually, that point reminds me of something that Munawar and I had talked. Munawar, remember I asked you on the rink once that what's one of the biggest differences? You said that in this league it feels like people are on you like much harder. What? Go through that one more time.
Yeah. Again, like this is just from experience. From like I notice when I have the ball, like. There's guys coming at you left, right, and center. When you're so used to playing like a man-to-man coverage. Yeah. Whereas these guys just, even like my team also like they just converge like wherever the ball is. Like they see the ball go to the corner and there's like 2 guys flying over there, and I'm trying to wrap my head around, okay, where's the next movement coming from? Because I'm trying to, think ahead of where the ball might be going or something like that. But the pressure is nonstop. The back pressure, the forecheck, even on the ball, the battles along the walls. Like it's good to it helps you get into the game, obviously, and like both players, like whoever's battling. But like the pressure's not. You don't get time to think sometimes. Like the only thing you can do is just throw it away, and it could be an icing or. You cough it up and it's in the back of your net. So it makes you think.
Or in your case, you just carry the ball, go through like 15 people, and then
no.
I down, right?
I like to distribute the ball. That's my MO. I like to distribute.
You certainly do, but you got some highlight reel goals in there too, bro. I like that. So speaking of Munawwar's team, Mr. Hamdani, he was first star in his game, which was a 4-1 beating on Red. So let's go to him and then tell us how that game panned out for you guys.
I'd say first and foremost, we knew this was a big game. We're obviously chasing these guys to try and get that that buy into the playoffs. I would say as a team, I think lately we've been gelling very well, moving the ball better. We're being more composed with it, not too much, kind of turn and fire it into an open space. We're looking to find man, get the ball deep, and and work for it. Osman has his days where he hits the net, and if he does, it goes in. And and we have Ali. Ali's back there. Like he's very composed. He pretty much is our backbone of our team.
Yeah.
He sees everything from his position. As a team, I think we can do so much better. I know we can. We speak about it a lot, and I look forward to every Friday coming to the rink because I know these guys are going to give it their all and play well and just want to win. And that's how I look at it. I'm coming. If I'm driving this far, I'm coming to win. I don't want to waste any time.
Well, you've got you seem to have given Riz some extra legs in his game. He looks like a new man out there with you.
Who's this?
Rizwan.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what, we give him the gears pretty good. Before the game and during warm-ups and stuff. So I'm sure I've played with him a few times in Salam Cup also. So he knows what I'm about and what I expect as a player about myself and what I expect from him and other players as well that I've played with. They all know what I hold myself to and what I hold them to.
Fair. Bakshi, what did you think of Red's performance in this?
I left.
You didn't stay?
No, I wasn't here for this game. So.
All right, who actually stayed to watch this?
I was there.
All right, there you go.
Look, it didn't look like they were able to accomplish what they're. One thing I will say about Red, and I have to measure my word carefully because of the trade segment that's coming up, but they have, with the games that they've won on slim margins. Right, so they've won attributed to their defense, and then they're able to capitalize on a mistake. I would say they look like, and again, I don't have the score sheet in front of me, but it did look like Green had power plays that they were able to put pressure on them with, and it didn't look like Red was able to capitalize on very many of any mistakes. Right, so I think that Red is definitely going to have to do some work on their offense, and we can touch on that. I guess a little bit later, but I mean, full credit. I mean, Zuhair seems to be one to get traded as well because of the comments that he's making in the comments.
You got David Cucumber here saying, "Tread carefully, brother."
Oh no! Listen, I'm a neutral third party on this one, my friend.
Not anymore. You're part of Red now.
I haven't unpacked yet, so it's fine. Don't worry about it. I can only be traded one more time. So at the end of the day, though, I think, given the move that occurred, I think Ikhlas is a force to be reckoned with, right? I think that that their personnel, especially their top five. What I will criticize them though on is I do feel like their secondary scoring is still not doing what they're supposed to do. And I know he's in the chat, so I'm looking at you, Abdullah. We need more, right? We do from you and your line mates, right? All those guys that you drafted from Masjid Nabawi, we need more from them.
Well, he doesn't have any more weddings to skip out of, right?
I guess not.
All right, let's go on to the next segment here. Before we do, big shout out to Hood. I think we've already talked about him. And for those who haven't seen, we have a video up there. It's a little mini story that we have where Hood actually, before the game started, he called out that he was going to get 3. He ended up getting 4, so that's pretty impressive. So I think from now on, everybody just call out a hat trick. Go tell Bakshi, get it on video. So if you actually do score, we'll put it up there as well. All right. So here.
Sorry, if you're cutting out there.
I was wondering if it was just me or not.
Ivan, why don't you speak on this, being that you're the lead?
Yeah, sure. I mean, so as you know, we've been partnered with Human Concern International a few weeks ago, and they were at the rink shortly after the earthquakes, which took place primarily in Turkey, but also affecting other areas, other countries in the area, like Syria. And the death toll now has, I think last I saw, at least just in Turkey itself, has exceeded past 45,000, probably close to 50,000 now. And people, it's not only the people who have lost their lives and their loved ones, but they've also lost their homes, their livelihood, everything, and they literally have nothing left. So really, anything that anyone can do to help support, whether even if it's $1 or anything, it goes to help support these people. And the people at Human Concern International are doing a really good job with supporting them through these difficult times. So if you go to our Instagram page, there's a link there. You can donate. We'll also post it in our WhatsApp news group. And again, anything you can do, you can share the link with friends or family. It's going to go help people who really need that help, and it's a worthy cause. So please donate generously as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So we had a lot of trades this past week. In fact, it's not even the trade deadline, and it felt like it. Even down to the last minute, there were so many. And some of the big players in the trade was Iman. So I know, Omar, you are, I guess, part of the OC. You're, I guess, the recruiting and in charge of a lot of this roster business, right? So you could probably give us the background on what happened with some of these trades. So what's this one about?
Essentially, what happens in a waiver instance is that a player can no longer play, and in fairness to the team and to obviously maintain continuity of competition, we allow a team to bring in a replacement player. Now, in order to make it fair, there's a waiver process that we have in the league where every team basically gets an opportunity to claim if they so wish, and then they would offer another player as compensation if they so choose, right? So typically speaking, if a player is drafted in the third round and a team makes a claim, they would offer their player that was picked in the third round, right? So in this instance, in Iman's case, Mohsen Mankrad, he was traded from Rida to Iman, and that trade was the Asim Abdul Nafi and who was the third
Adam
player?
Patel.
No, it's Asim Abdul Nafi.
Adam Patel?
Adam Patel?
No,
Adam Patel came back the other way. It was, I don't even remember.
In any case, right, Mohsen Mankrad was one of the players that was moved. And so he ended up having to drop out of the league due to work reasons. And he was replaced by Riaz. Riaz was submitted through waivers, and he ended up clearing. For those of you that don't know Riaz, he's a long-standing member of our league. Yeah. I mean, Bakshi, why don't you say some words about Riaz's skill?
Other than he has an amazing last name, no, he's actually a really, really good. I would call him a stay-at-home defenseman, but he actually has really good legs. So he can take the ball up, but very sound defensively, and has a shot. Doesn't use as much as he could, but he has a great shot. So I would consider him one of the better shutdown defensemen available, and really an upgrade for anyone looking to have someone to eat a lot of minutes and be there in the crucial times.
Yep. No, he's been a GM in the past as well, so that's the caliber of an individual we're dealing with here. Okay, this is an interesting one and a big one. Last game we had Saber, who we finished 2-2 against Haya. We didn't even have Adil playing that day. He's missed a few games. So this is a big one, and this has to do with the Munawar team. So Munawar, I'm sure you had Ali maybe talk to you about this before pulling the trade. So what was the thinking process here from your end?
Yeah, I think from our end perspective, just to have another guy in, Chohan. I've played with him in Tier 2, and I've gotten to know him very well and how he plays. He's a very smart player. And just having another guy back there that can help control the flow of the game and help calm us down when we get out of control kind of bit. It helps having, you can put, him out first and do Ali on the second line. Obviously, we don't want to overload one D pair. It's better to spread everything out and have them kind of mentor, tutor that other D partner there and help our team kind of navigate out of our own end when we get into trouble. And obviously come power play time, like I don't want to.
Let's not give them a power play. Basically,
I don't want to get too excited, but like the 5 we can throw out there at any given time, it helps a lot to take. Now it's an extra set of eyes out there, extra playmaking ability. That helps us out a lot.
Yeah. But you're also losing a guy like Farouk Khan, who's
Farouk. I got to know him.
Blue line.
Such a gentle giant, I would say. I sat beside him in the room every game. Actually, just so happened that was our kind of thing. But I got to know him, and such a very passionate player. He's very vocal in the room, very vocal on the bench. He's a great leader. He's very poised back there. He makes smart decisions with the ball. He's strong, right? So losing him is huge, and I'm sure being. I didn't have, when talking with Ali and Osman, they always say toughest part of a GM is, you get to liking all these guys, but at the same time, you want to help better your team or do certain things that are not very comfortable. And when you get to, you get a team and you think you're there for the long haul, and all of a sudden it gets broken up a bit. You'll feel it in the room a bit, but Farouk will definitely help out Suber 100%, and I wish him all the best, and I'm sure I'll see him on the floor soon.
Yeah, no, well said. He's very competitive. I know you just called him Gentle Jan, but there's also a mean streak in him too, because I've played with him for many years now, and I've been on both ends of his physicality. So yeah, he's a really good player that way. But you're also losing Badger, who's arguably one of the best goaltenders.
Yeah, I think that's something you gotta. That's kind of like the give or take with the trade, right? Like you can't, say we want one of your best players and kind of give you.
You want the number 1 overall pick, but you don't want to give anything up, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like you got to make it you got to show the trade is enticing to both teams. You don't want to, you want Suber to still say, okay, yeah, this trade makes sense. This is going to help us grow, And I think we did a goalie swap there as well. So
yeah, we got Imran, who's a super nice guy. He's the first one always on this podcast. So
okay, so I look forward to. I think I put a few on him when we played him, so I'll have to go.
Go apologize to him now.
What's interesting here is that Suber and Niklas are going to play each other in the last game of the season. So trade could be very important in the outcome of that game, and then also on playoff standings and who makes the playoffs and who doesn't. So it's something to keep an eye on.
I don't think it'll affect green that much because I think they're pretty secure, but it's definitely going to affect yellow to try to sneak in.
For sure.
And just one last thing about this trade. I know people were asking, like, why would you trade Johan? And, he obviously didn't want to get traded and whatnot. But the thing is, Adil, for those who know, he's a police officer, and his schedule comes out, and he was going to miss the rest of the season, pretty much, regular season. So for Yellow, who's, fighting tooth and nail just to get into the playoffs, you can't have your first overall pick not there. So that's why we had to make this move, just to get people in. And it also really helps us with 2 areas in both defense and goaltending. So we're really looking forward to looking at the new makeup of our team.
You gave up the secret identity. Everyone knows he's a cop now. You gave up the secret identity. Everyone knows he's a cop now.
I think most people know.
I think this is one of the few instances where I think the trade was good for both sides.
Yeah, and that's how it is, right? Like if both sides are a little bit, I had to give up too much, then it's probably a relatively fair trade. Now, speaking of more trades for Suber, it didn't just end there. They made another trade with Takwa, and this sees Wasim Kagzi going over to Takwa, and in return, Sabr receives Amr Multani. I'll go to Omar for this, his thoughts on this one.
It's definitely an interesting trade. I don't. I guess I didn't think that Sabra would need help scoring with a sniper like Amir Multani, and I didn't think that they would be willing to sacrifice the defenseman to make that happen. You know what I'm saying? Like even in the trade, like I know you got Farouk back in the trade, but I mean, if we analyze Sabra's defense for a second, there's Farouk. I'm not sure if you can play Kashif on defense. I mean, you guys would be able to tell me better than I would be able to speculate.
Kashif plays D, but he can go up if he needs to.
No, I understand. But who are the four defensive core now of Sabr? Because Vasim has been a steady, solid defenseman, with the occasional offensive flair for many seasons now, and he's been recognized as like almost a flyer under the radar type of guy. So I mean, I don't doubt that there was a need to move him for whatever reason, but I think my expectation would have been that you would have got a defenseman back. I saw Casantini play, Mohamed Casantini play defense a few shifts last game. I don't know if that's going to be a regular thing. Now that you have Multani that you can send up, I'm not sure. But I definitely, I'm interested to know or to see what the defensive makeup of Sabra will look like, because even though you have Badger back there, who is definitely a solid goalie, as a defenseman, that I always preach defense wins games.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the reasons we did trade for Amir is Sabra. We haven't scored more than 2 goals in a game, and which is ridiculous when you think that we have. Before Adel got traded, we had 4 guys on the team who are previously scoring champions in Islam, right? Whether it's points or goals, we had 4 of these guys, and yet on a team like this, we couldn't get more than 2 goals. So it's really to bring back, or not back, but bring in some offensive prowess. And there's also the history of Multani playing really well Maz, right? And the last time Multani finished top 5, I think it was basically Maz setting him up, right? So there's some built-in chemistry there. And, at this point, we have to make some changes. We're at the bottom of the barrel here. So as much as we love Coco and as much as he's stellar,
he has value. So
yeah, you have, like Munawar said, right? Sometimes to get good players, you also have to give up good players.
No, of course.
So we're gonna miss Wasim, but I know Multani's like super amped to join us.
I've been trying to get Multani since the first week, and RF knows I've been trying to get him to make trades for him for the longest time. So it was good to finally get him on our side.
Yep. All right, so here's another one. I'll go to Omar on this because I guess you were with the team when this happened as well.
Sure.
What's going on here?
So in this particular instance, again, another waiver claim. Arv Hanslow dropped out, affectionately referred to as Billa. And I think a part of it was injury, and a part of it was the poor effort of the team last week, where it was so surreal, right? Because like after that game, you had like half the team was really mad, right, about this result, with like one player even just not saying anything, packing up his bags and leaving the room, right? And like that was it. That was that, right? And then you had the other half who like made a big joke about losing, right? And so it was really a very strange environment in that room. Like I fall into the pissed off category. I don't like losing, especially when you lose because of a poor effort. If you lose a hard fought game, it is what it is, right? But I mean, if you lose it because of a poor effort, and I get upset. But in any case, after that game, he was like, guys, he's just like, because I'm not feeling the hockey, and I'm hurting, right? So I don't know if I'm not sure, exactly what transpired, but I do know that something came through that he was dropping, and they replaced him with Mohammed Patel. My understanding is there is like 10 Mohammed Patels in Malton, so they had to differentiate him with his middle name. Now, after this waiver went through, it came to the league's attention that this kid is actually pretty good. He's younger. He plays mostly tier 5-4. But I think the stats something ridiculous. Like in 64 games, he has almost 100 points. Playing in again lower leagues. But I've seen him. He actually used to come last season, and he used to warm up with the green team. So he definitely has a pretty.
Oh, he's one of those. Okay.
Yeah, he has a pretty good shot. But I've never seen him in a game situation. But Abdullah Patel here is saying that he's another Mohib Shah. So let's see.
Great.
Let's see what happens.
Well, I got a question here, and maybe Munawar, you can give your thoughts on this one. A team like Blue here, they've made really good trades, right? They really redefined how their team looks. They've added good players, but how does it affect team chemistry? Like if you make too many moves,
it's gonna take some time for them to kind of gel and figure out, how everyone plays. Like I know it's. Even in the NHL, I'll give you a quick example. Like Patrick Kane going to New York to play with Panarin again, it hasn't worked.
Yeah.
There's just that chemistry they once had in Chicago it's not there in New York. So by bringing new guys in, and it's an adjustment period for sure, because now they're trying to figure out what the team was doing before they got there, and now what they're going to do once they're there. And it takes time, and depending on how those players are, that if you want to call them your top 6 or your top 3 or your big dogs or whatever, however they operate, a lot of that can come on them and kind of almost throw off the entire chemistry. So it'll take a game or 2, maybe 3. You don't know, but obviously
there's only 3 games left, right? There's only 3 games left in the season.
Exactly, and you don't want to force the chemistry to happen. I think that's the worst thing you can do. Trying to force it to make it out. You just want to let it flow easily, and it'll come and it'll click right away. And if it doesn't click right away, you got to move some parts around, and hopefully, inshallah, everything falls into place.
Yeah. Well,
you want to be in stride by the time you go to playoffs. I think that's the main thing.
For the rest of us, we hope that it doesn't fall into place for them, but I think it will.
Well, one of the things I suspect is that, if you look at this trio's, or at least Kazi and Abu's success from last season, they had a lot of success despite not having a very recognizable defense, right? Mm-hmm. They just overwhelmed teams offensively, and they were able to scrape by, right, defensively. They had Asim, they had Kazi, but I'm not even sure who else they had, right, on defense. Nobody's jumping out at me right now. But what they did have was they had a very overwhelming offense where they could throw wave after wave after wave at you, and it was very difficult for you to figure out what to do from there. So it almost seems like because things aren't going their way, they may be trying to replicate that a little bit, where they're not really so much focused on the defense anymore, and they're really just trying to bolster their offense. And maybe and the goal of the season with all the trades, especially with the one with Iman, was really meant to solidify a second line, and it just. I think they hit the panic button a little bit, where we had one game where the guys that were brought in didn't do what they thought they were going to do, and so they're like, okay, well, we got to do something. Guys dropping out is guys dropping out, but I do think when we get to the next slide, I think that they have a pretty solid top 6.
Okay, I was trying to put the picture in the background. This is from Ikhlas last season when they won. So I know Munawar wants Ikhlas to win again this year.
Inshallah, that's why we play the game, right?
Absolutely. Okay, let's see. What's the next slide here? Let's bring this in. Oh.
No, go back one, Arif.
Did we miss one? Okay.
Yeah. So it's the exact same slide, but different name.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So what happened here was Ihsan's first round pick, Zaki Parikh, he withdrew. For personal reasons, and they submitted Mohamed Bulbulia, who's an East End guy. From all accounts, I hear he's a power forward type player. He's never played in our league, but he's played, I think, in Salam Cup, and he plays in another Scarborough league. So I hear that he's a pretty good player. They tried to bring him in for Zaki Parikh, and the way that it works, as I explained the waivers, if somebody's claimed, you must give a pickup in compensation. So if you go to the next slide, you'll see that Reda Rida claimed Mohammed, and they had to give up this stud as compensation. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know too much about Mohammed, but I do know about this guy. And
How do you animate your own trade?
I know that sucks, man. This is the second trade graphic I had to make up myself in my career. This is ridiculous.
No, it sucks for Omar because whenever he gets traded, see the way it works is the GMs, they form a chat group in WhatsApp. They add Habibi, they add Omar to announce a consensus that they've come to. So here's Omar sitting in these rooms and like, okay, why is my name in here? Why are you trading me?
Yeah, I mean, in this case, the waiver claims happened in the GM chat. So, I mean, when this scenario presents itself, like you obviously, I knew that I was eligible to be sent over as compensation. But that being said, and I love playing with Ali Khwaja. Ali Khwaja is probably one of my favorite goalies ever. He is very, very easy to play defense in front of. And with playing with someone like Ahsan, I played with Ahsan when I was a teenager. And when I was playing with URF, right? So I mean, I've known these guys for a very long time. Moose, right? Moose is another guy that he actually taught me some of what I know with regards to playing the position. So I'm definitely very, very happy and fortunate to play with these guys. If I put my analyst hat on, though, right? What Hassan needed was a forward, not a defenseman. They're very deep on defense. They have Moose, they have Ahsan, they have Saif Khwaja, they have Salman Alvi. So they're very deep on defense, right? Like, I mean, I don't know where they slot me in sort of the defensive depth. But what they really needed, what they really needed was somebody to jump in on for forward. And so and again, I'm just, I'll just say what I would have done to be malicious here. I would have, once Rida made that claim, I would have taken that Shabir guy. I said, fine, I'll take a guy. Right? I would have taken your guy, and too bad, so sad. Do you still want to claim? And see what happens, right? These are the mind games that you have to play with other GMs. But on a serious note, right? Like, I mean, I do think Ihsan needs to figure something out for forward, because again, this season it's been slim margins. Have they blown out the team at this whole season?
I don't think so.
No.
Right. So I think that that's definitely something that the GMs are going to have to look at, and I'll do what I can. Ali makes it easy.
So you can play forward, can't you?
In another life,
you pinch enough, you can go and play forward, can't you?
I mean, I'll play wherever I'm needed, my friend.
I think the thing with Ehsan, Team Red, it's very similar to Suburb, but you know how you were saying that they just squeaked by in a lot of the wins? I think Suburb is the opposite. We also played really well, but we always fall short on the wins.
We always play well, and then we don't play well.
Yeah. But Omar, I also wanted to ask you, like, in the past, it seems that people, before they do a claim or before they bring someone in, there's already a little bit of coordination with the bottom place team. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. We're going to bring this guy in. I want you to trade him and bring him back. Why can't teams do that this year? Were there any rule changes?
So there is. So for instance, a player cannot be traded back to a team that brings him in or traded him. So for instance, in this case, if Subber, I believe, had the first claim.
Yeah.
If they claim this guy is okay, you know what, we'll keep him for a week and we'll trade it. That's not possible. You can't do that. And then also, teams have to be very careful when they claim someone on waivers, because they actually go all the way to the bottom, right, of the claim priority at that point. And this is to avoid teams kind of abusing the system, especially now. So basically, now what happens is the waiver and trade deadline is the Tuesday after Eid, so the Tuesday before we get back. And so what happened last year was that there was a number of players whose priorities changed in Ramadan, or they were traveling, or they were getting married, or whatever it is, and they had to withdraw from the league. And so if any of that happens, no matter where Rida is in the standings, they automatically will claim last in the next one, and then after that, everything kind of resets. But and then in any case, I think that Rida is definitely remapped their offense. I think that now they're up there in the conversations with teams that can definitely overwhelm you offensively and almost maybe scare you a little bit. But I do think that I do think that Rida has a defensive issue that they're going to have to sort out, and they're probably going to have to move Kazi back and try to glue Asim and Abdul Nafi behind the blue line for the rest of the season.
Makes sense.
We call it the G rule.
Yeah, G rule, because Jihad last season, anything that came, he didn't even look at who it was. He just said claim. So, all right, we have one last slide. This is previews for this week, well, tomorrow. I'm going to throw one at each one of you guys, and maybe you guys can talk about it a little bit here. So the first one, Taqwa and Iman, Baksh, why don't we give you this one?
I'm not gonna go against who 2 weeks in a row. I think I'm gonna give this one to Iman. They've even through like their acquisitions and whatnot. I really like how they're playing. Like I said this and I have it on podcast on record. Iman, I always liked how they played. They had a very in-your-face style and a very fast team. And I said it. It's on record. It's on the internet. If they keep their pace, then they could beat any team. And it's their pace that's going to potentially beat Taqwa. And I think Taqwa is missing a couple of guys too. So I'm not sure. I mean, that's what I hear. But regardless, I think it's been a tough season for Taqwa. They have all the pieces, but kind of like Sabr, like us, it's just not clicking right now. So let's see how it goes. I'll give it to Hood again.
Okay, all right. Omar, why don't you take the second one, since you are a previous member of Team Rida?
I mean, I'm not going to make any predictions here, but I do think that last time Rida played Yakin, they weren't able to get anything going offensively. And basically any defensive lapses were capitalized on, and Yakin made them pay. So it's going to be super interesting to see if that can be reversed at all or mitigated at all. I do know that the GMs had a specific game plan of how they wanted to address Yakin's offense. So I do think that this is going to be a very interesting game, provided all the people come out. I would definitely say this is probably one of the must-win games. I know that the Rida GMs were not happy about losing to Yakin, and they want to avenge that loss. So this will be I think this is going to be a pretty physical game, but I definitely think it's going to be a very fast game as well. Like, I think things are going to move quite quickly.
It's going to be a good test for Rida, right?
It is.
With your new makeup, you're facing the best team in the league. Let's see how you do.
Yeah, and you know what? And I don't want to jinx them at all, but Yakin has shown some chinks in their armor in the last couple of weeks, right? Where they've been letting in goals, and the defensive coverage has not been amazing. I don't know if that's because Mobina's been on vacation. They've been taking some shifts off, but I do think that there's some things that they need to tighten up in their locker room as well.
Yeah, sounds good. Third one, Ikhlas versus Haya. Of course, we're going to go to you, Munawar.
Sure.
Do you recall the last time you played these guys? And
I think we tied them. If I remember, I'm not. I feel like we tied them, but it felt.
I remember that it was 5-5.
Yeah, it felt like a loss. From what I remember, they're a very physical team, Haya. I don't think we played well that game. I think we came out kind of slow, sluggish. But that was so many weeks ago. I think our team now we're moving forward, and we know what we're capable of. So we're trying to, second that ball drops, we're go. We want to get the ball in the net early and often. And Haya is a very strong team. They like to bang the body. They like to get the ball deep and cause mayhem. So as long as we can stay away from that and keep them off the boards a bit, keep everything in the middle, I think we'll be fine.
I don't know if you know, but the moniker that we have for Haya is called the Haya Hustle, because any team that has Lukman as their GM, their whole thing is they hustle like crazy.
Right.
And this has usually resulted in several championships for them.
And
I think you're going to get the full Haya
entire
Hustle.
league. I think that's the entire league, to be honest. not just them, but
this one more so.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes Friday, inshallah, tomorrow.
Sounds good.
One thing I will say, Arif. So one thing I will say is, if Haya comes out of this game with anything other than a win, there must be a trade. There must be some kind of
You think?
shakeup. Oh yeah, they're the only team. There was another. Somebody had sent me some notes for the podcast. I think this person wanted to join, but was not able to do that, or I don't know what the case was. I'm not going to name the individual, but he actually assigned grades to every single team based on what transpired last week, and he gave Haya an F because they didn't do they didn't do any moves. And it's hard, right? Because their team is mostly made up of familiarity, family. It's not easy to shake up a roster like that. But
Akim told me he can't do anything.
But the thing is that
7.
This will be the first season, I think, in Hangar history that they're at risk of missing the playoffs. Right? This GM trio.
They can't risk the family dinners. The family dinners.
No. So I mean, that's just my thinking out loud. Is if this is anything other than a win, a move must come. Like Luke is the most loyal person on the face of this earth when it comes to the guys that he drafts.
Overly loyal.
Yeah, but Luke, my friend, I've won championships with you. You got to do something if you don't get these 2 points.
If they don't ask for a trade, Akim said it straight from his mouth. They're not going to trade him.
Yeah, all right, we'll see what happens. Before I go to Imad for the last game, Daoud makes a really good point here and great reminder. Thanks, Daoud, which is Abrar from Yakin broke the all-time scoring record at the Hangar last week. I believe it was 26 or so 27 points. He's already broken that, and there's still 3 games left in the season, right? Granted, this is this year we have 12 games, but we also missed 1 game. But regardless, it's quite the achievement to have that many points in such a short span.
Who had the record before Hamza Chaudhry?
Hamza Chaudhry from Ikhlas in the past. So yeah, that just shows you how dominant and that they are. So the last game of the night is Sabr versus Ihsan. Yellow versus red.
If you guys tell me what's going on.
Oh well, I mean, look, Sabr's made a whole bunch of moves. Brought 3 new guys in, and it's just going to be they don't have time to take it easy and get everyone to gel and get that chemistry going. They need to be ready right when the ball drops at the face-off. So it's do or die for them, and they really need to get going. Otherwise, they're going to lose ground to the other guys. Iman's moving up, and like you guys said, Haya is having issues. Now, Ihsan also, as Isawi said, they need to figure out their defense. Not that their defense is bad. It's just, okay, who are they going to keep back there and then who are they going to move up? My vote probably Isawi moves up to the wing. I know you've experimented with that and have fantasized about it at times. But I think this might be the right time for them to do this for you and maybe get you on the top line with Daoud and Muhib or something like that. But that'll be interesting to see how they do it. But I think this is going to be one of those really close games. And it's going to be like a 1-goal game for sure.
I think Bakshi is going to take out Isawi in the corner.
Where are we going to go?
As long as he doesn't take him out for dinner.
I'd appreciate that, actually.
Now, it should also be mentioned that Red has a few suspensions from last game with Green, as does Green, right, Monara? I think you have one of your guys also missing. But I think it affects Red a bit more because they have 2 of their main defensemen missing. So I think Isawi does fit into the defensive spot this week. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys. Well, Munawar, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. And, we've had a lot of guests come in and a lot of times they're camera shy and whatnot. But, hey, man, you look like a natural out here. So thank you so much.
I appreciate you asking me to come on. Thank you for all the kind words you guys spoke during the podcast. Like I said, I've tuned into every podcast you guys have been featuring every week. And like I said, I love playing in this league. It's a lot of fun. And I look forward to, the coming weeks and playing more hockey there.
Awesome. Now, I wasn't going to put you on the spot, but hey, what the hell, I will. Since you like the league so much, will you be making a return, inshallah? I know the season's not over, but what's the prediction here?
When I'm a time frame guy, I need to know. I need to know dates. But inshallah, if everything works out, 100%, I would love to come back and play.
Awesome. And bring some of your friends too, right? We need more guys of your skill level to join us.
Together.
Carpool together.
Yeah, so it's a lonely drive sometimes there and back. So inshallah, some of the guys want to come, I can bring them with me.
And you know what? I gotta say this one thing. Manar, you come from what? Guelph or
St. Catharines.
St. Catherine. That's a long ride, bro. And the fact that you've been coming pretty much every week, that's really awesome. We have guys who don't want to show up from Scarborough, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
No, like I really enjoy playing the game, and obviously I usually have Osman and Ali in my phone blowing me up pretty good Fridays to make sure I'm coming, or stop over in Oakville, we'll pick you up or something like that. But no, I really enjoy.
Somebody come by, I'll pick you up.
I enjoy coming to the rink, playing wherever it may be if I'm able to come, and if I've given the team my word that I'll be there, then there's a good chance you're going to see me.
Nice. When you play against us, come to Oakville. Bakshi will pick you up. Whether he makes it to the hangar, we don't know, but
all right.
We gotta make a stop.
He'll take you out for dinner.
Hey, if we make a stop at Bamiyan, I'm fine.
He'll probably take you to the gym, knowing him. Awesome. All right, guys. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining, both in the panel as well as the folks in the comment section. Inshallah, we'll see everyone tomorrow. And until then, have a good night. Assalamu alaikum.
All right,
guys.
All right.